Since 60% of the nation's refugees live in 40 counties in 10 states, schools, hospitals, police, and welfare agencies in those localities will shoulder an added burden. Sue doesn't like the idleness afforded him by the welfare checks. He wants to work, but he doesn't even know what he can do within the American working context.
You looking for what?
Job.
A job?
Yeah.
You speak it in English?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't speak any English. I can't help you.
Yeah.
You can't get a job here. You'll have to go somewhere else, you know?
No.
Yes. You'll have to go somewhere else. I can't help you. There's no job here.
No.
No job.
Yeah.
No job.
Yes.
Bob Johnson, Director of International Rescue Committee, Seattle.
It's not just refugees are being cut off. It's essentially all poor people are being given reduced options by the federal government. And it's going to particularly boil down to the refugee population because they are probably the most vulnerable of all the low-income groups. They're less educated to our system. They're less sophisticated. They have less capability of finding their own jobs. So their resources are pretty strapped as is. So, we're looking at big problems. To me, it's sort of an absolute crime that refugees were brought in 1975, given an unspecified period of time to become educated and get jobs. Those people were the educated refugees for the most part, the Vietnamese, and later, through the years, since 1975, the less sophisticated, less educated groups have come in, and now the length of time is being cut back. And people are going to be really scrambling, predict a lot of problems. Already the food banks are being utilized by refugees, which creates potential for racial strife. People are sort of beginning to scramble at the bottom level.
Bus, bus. Everybody, come on, everybody. Bus, bus, bus. Girl. Man.
Dog.
Very nice. What's this? Fish.
School brings refugee children into daily contact with American language and ways. Flexible and energetic, they can easily adapt. But what of their parents? What of their cultural heritage? Some anthropologists project that there will never be a significant Hmong American population, that we may be witnessing one further example of ethnocide, the destruction of the traditional values of a group of people. When the members of a simple society find themselves in the middle of a political storm, surrounded by stronger technologies and more dominant political powers, their entire way of life, centuries of developed cultural values, can be wiped out without anyone even noticing. Very few people choose to examine what of value is being lost. $50,000 Hmong are now dispersed across America, with large groups in St. Paul, Minnesota, Orange County, California, Missoula, Montana, Portland, Oregon, Providence, Rhode Island, and Seattle, Washington. The people in these communities are developing supportive networks, relying upon each other and their leaders to reinstitute their close family and tribal ties. Hang Sao is the leader of the Hmong in Washington State. At a yearly community picnic, he discusses problems facing the Hmong. I look for a job. Everybody expects you to have a degree or experience. I don't have a degree. No degree, no job. We are the lost people. If people in this country had to work as hard as we did, what would they do? If Americans tried to do the work we did in Laos, they couldn't do it. They're too soft. I don't speak English, but I have a dishwashing job. I try to do my best, but I don't know anything. They say, "How are you?" I say, "Okay." They say, "What do you want to eat?" I say, "Okay." They could say, "Eat shit," and I'd say, "Okay." Keep trying. Go to class. Talk with anybody in the kitchen who will talk to you. You know, plates will never say anything to you. Plates don't talk. Anthropologist Marshall Herlick.
The Hmong have a very strong sense of community. Individuals feel responsible towards their families, particularly the older people in their families, their mothers, their fathers, their grandparents. They have a very strong sense of responsibility towards their village or their neighborhood, towards other people in their clan. And it's a kind of responsibility that I think many Americans could learn from, because it's the sort of responsibility that means people should help each other.
After 6 months in the U.S., Sioux, Chow, Hmong, and their children are still a close, supportive family unit. They are adapting to American life. The children are changing quickly, adopting Western dress and tastes. Mong Vong sets a tone of stability in the sparse apartment. There is joy here, but threats of no jobs, no English class, no welfare loom in the future. Mong's pragmatic wisdom and support will be there for her children. Will it be enough? The responsibility of supporting this large family, once the welfare and educational programs are cut, rests on Hang Soo. His traditional sense of self-reliance and male leadership has been compromised by years of disruption and idleness. He deals with depression, self-doubt, stress. Chow Ta is quick, candid with her rapidly acquired vocabulary, selling her handiwork, teaching the children. She grasps onto opportunities to learn with humor and determination. It's not easy to imagine the shock, the disorientation, the loneliness, hope, and curiosity these people seem to feel as they face resettlement in America. Their traditional cultural values are challenged every day. As a living consequence of the secret war in Laos, the plight of the Hmong is not to be ignored. No one can predict how they will fare in the future. But if history is an accurate indicator, these highland tribespeople will carry with them, even to this complex American society, the spirit of survival.
Reverse the direction and see little turbulent spots farther to the south that resembles the pattern around the red